Namaste and welcome viewers. I'm Ashish Pareek. You're watching Mirror Prime, and today we'll be talking about Mumbai's Coastal Road being built at a cost of 14,000 crore rupees. It was meant to be a game changer, a world-class infrastructure that promises a smooth, traffic-free drive along the city's coastline. But just months after its opening, pictures and videos have now gone viral, exposing the patchwork on some stretches on these roads, raising serious concerns about the quality. Yes, the road does save you a lot of time, but it also does leave you sore thanks to the patches sticking out and making the entire ride bumpy, which obviously is not world class. In fact, we spoke to the PMC, the civic body in Mumbai, and the officials there say that this is just a preventive maintenance and the roads underneath are completely perfectly fine. Tonight on the show, we are asking, why does a 14,000 crore rupees road need a maintenance within just a few months? Is this how world-class infrastructure looks, and why does the patchwork look so bumpy, so uneven? This is definitely not world-class. And if this, as what BMC says, is preventive maintenance, why does it look like a damage control instead? Will this road now survive Mumbai's monsoon? And before we get to the bottom of this, speak to our panelists and understand what really is happening. First, let's take a look at the ground report filed by my colleague Shweta.
There's a growing concern among motorists when it comes to the coastal road, and here we are present and showing you the patchwork of coastal road. This is towards the northbound stretch leading towards Varli. As my video journalist Sanjay Ranjit is showing you, the kind of patchwork being done on this particular stretch is raising concerns among the people when it comes to the cost of this entire project, which is more than 14,000 crores. Now citizens are compelled to ask serious questions about why patchwork has been done here, whether they actually wanted a smooth ride, but this time they're getting a bumpy ride due to such patchwork, and this will be continued towards the Haji Ali side. And as we approach the BMC, the officials have to say that this is just a preventary step what they have taken, and eventually this will be removed. At the same time, we are also understanding that there are concerns. In fact, people are raising several questions that what is the need of such patchworks on the roads, and this is leading to disruptive rides to them. Also, when it comes to the coastal road project, this particular patch leading towards the north stretch of Mumbai, we find several patches like this, and this has made citizens question about their money as tax which has been utilized to make this project, and is this a safe ride for them or not?
Right. Like Shweta there said, several patches. This is not just in one particular portion that you see. Joining me right now, our panelists, Krishna Hegde, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, Anish Gawande, national spokesperson of the NCP, and Dilip Cherian, founder of Perfect Relations. And gentlemen, really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast here. Mr. Krishna Hegde, let's start with you now. This, of course, is a very ambitious project, 14,000 crore rupees spent, world-class infrastructure, they say. But the big question is this how a world-class infrastructure is supposed to look and feel like?
So is this question for me, because I cannot hear very clearly?
Yes, Mr. Krishna Hegde, the question was for you. Is this how a world-class infrastructure is supposed to look in the first few months?
No, 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 absolutely not. And I think, whoever the contractor, we know who's the contractor, and BMC themselves should fix up the problem. This is a 8-lane, highway, like an expressway, and almost like 29.2 kilometers. And till now, around 1.25 crore vehicles have traveled over it, and Mumbaikars have benefited. It has cut travel time by almost 2 hours, and almost 18,000 to 20,000 vehicles fly on this road every day. But however, that is not an excuse. If the BMC is saying that some of the bitumen has, worn off and some joints are being fixed, I think the BMC should uh, tighten up the contractor, whoever has built this, and I think they should get it back into shape. However, this is a problem for few meters, but the balance 29 kilometers of road is extremely good. This is definitely an engineering marvel which not only goes over the sea but also into the sea. And I think Mumbaikars are benefiting. This is also a toll-free road, so there is no expenses for any of the motorists on the road. So all in all, we should also look at the positive side of this coastal road. And whatever small glitches are there, I'm sure that the BMC will fix it soon.
Mr. Krishna Hegde, the problem is when you look at that visual there, very hard to ignore the patches and look at the positive side. Anish Kawande, you're of course from the NCP, and in the past as well, there has been a clash between the government and the opposition about the credit that has to be taken. The problem is when something good is said about a project like this, suddenly you have multiple politicians jumping, seeking credit for this. But when you look at something like this happening today, like Mr. Krishna Hegde says, the blame goes to the contractor.
And the contractor has been operating on this road for the vast majority of the last 10 years. And the government that is taking credit for the road should also take blame for what is going on with the road. You know, what we're hearing today from the BMC is that concretization was not done because the monsoons were coming up. And so asphalt was put in. Now the monsoons will come again, the asphalt will go up, but there won't be time to put concrete. So this is not a concrete job, it's a con job, right? And the reality is that today, unfortunately, the coastal road, which was supposed to be one of the city's most iconic infrastructure projects, has turned not only into an embarrassing sort of project, but one that has left all of us wondering which contractors were hired to complete it and how. You know, I'll give you a few examples, right? The patchwork on this stretch of the road is not the only problem. The ride is bumpy even when you go inside the tunnel of the coastal road. There have been multiple leakages and cracks that have developed in the coastal road over the course of time, and it's not even been more than a year since it was inaugurated. And more importantly, and finally, this is a road that has been inaugurated 6 times. The government, in the hurry to inaugurate this road before the elections, has clearly done a shoddy job, and the results are for everyone to see.
All right. Mr. Dilip Cherian, what's your opinion on this? Because clearly now the opinion here, as far as our political panelists is concerned, that it's completely divided. And the big question, Mr. Dilip Cherian, is that, again, asphalting is what they say this has been done. But the problem is, again, I'm a civil engineer myself when it comes to qualification, and asphalting isn't done this way. And even if it's asphalting, there has to be some sort of an evenness when it comes to the road level. What you look at right now is a completely shoddy job. It's almost like they know there's no accountability. Nobody's going to question them. Do whatever you want to do. Just say it's a 14,000 crore project. We've inaugurated it. Everyone is claiming credit, and do whatever you want to do, because that's exactly what it looks like. An absolute nightmare and an eyesore there.
Obvious thing for anyone traveling on this road, and I've traveled on this multiple times, is that it is a great saving of time, but it is a very poor quality of implementation of what was also a great idea. The idea, of course, took a long time to come into fruition, and different parties have claimed credit for different aspects of it. But there is no doubt that a contractor has willfully cut corners and made sure that the end product is nowhere near world class, but it is potentially dangerous. And, you know, as we've all discussed, when the monsoons come to Bombay and when Mumbai faces the full force of the monsoon, I'm worried about what the state of this road is going to be. I myself encountered the leakages on the road one morning when I was using it, and it is worrying to see this kind of work. This is meant to be one of the crown jewels of Mumbai because it connects huge swaths of Mumbai, which would otherwise take hours of commute. But this is not acceptable as a citizen.
Right. Mr. Anish Kawande, you just heard the argument coming in from Mr. Krishna Hegde. I think besides the road, even his network seems to be patchy right now. But let's talk about the defense that was coming in from Mr. Krishna Hegde. He basically said that let's look at the positive sides. This solves a major traffic problem, and we shouldn't be focusing on such stuff as of now, because this will be something that will be fixed and the accountability will be fixed as far as the contractor is concerned. But the big question here is that we spoke to the BMC, Anish. BMC now says that this is not a major issue. BMC says this is just a preventive maintenance. Now, I'm not a very well-traveled person, but from whatever travel I have done and whatever knowledge that I have, no preventive maintenance is done within a few months, especially when it's a project that costs you 14,000 crore rupees.
You know, the challenge is that we've become so used to accepting anything that we're given without questioning it that we're happy only with the time saving. The Bandra Worli ceiling also saves time. Do we say that we're okay with bad quality of construction there? The Eastern Freeway also saves time. Do we say we're okay with the bad quality of construction there? These are roads that have stood the test of time, almost 2 decades for both of them now. Why are they in a better state than the coastal road is today? You know, the problem is that we're not allowed to ask questions of this government anymore. And worse off, we're not even allowed to have an elected BMC in office anymore. So who am I supposed to ask this question to as a politician or as somebody who's a citizen of Mumbai? I don't have elected corporators. I have no one to hold accountable. And the
But
BMC is given a
Anish,
free
the
hand to take these
reality is
decisions.
both governments, both sides of the political spectrum try to claim credit over this particular project. Both sides. Your side as well and the other side as well. Now, when this is going wrong, who claims credit? Both of you will now stand aside and say that, okay, the contractor is to blame.
No, but I'm saying who's going to fix it? The government in power, right? I agree with you. If there is an inquiry and there is a true inquiry that has taken place which finds a contractor that our government would have appointed or somebody from our government would have overseen, then find them, hold them to account, but do something about it. The problem is every time these questions are raised, fingers are pointed in the other direction, but you're the party in power. So you can't point fingers, you have to take action.
All right. Mr. Krishna Hegde, of course, the question is directly to you now because you're, of course, in the ruling party now. Clearly, the big question here that is being asked is every time there is a project being inaugurated, suddenly you have the chief ministers, the prime minister, everyone standing there, photo ops being done. And as soon as something like this happens, suddenly you start blaming the contractor. Anish Gawande here from the NCP is asking you, will the Shinde government of the past and the Fadnavis government now take accountability and accept that this is something that's happened right under their nose?
No, obviously yes, because I tell you that all these contractors who are building either the, expressway, the flyovers, the coastal road, the sea link, or any of the cemented roads across Mumbai, where we are doing 850 kilometers of cemented roads now, most of the deposit money is kept as a guarantee, so that if at all there is any such issue, the money can be spent from the deposit money which is kept with us with the government, and therefore we do not have to chase these contractors. Secondly, Anish, my friend, also said about the BMC elections. It is one faction of the Mahavikas Agadi which went to court and stopped the BMC elections. So we are not to be blamed for that because the matter is in court now. And also, Anish said that there have been 6 inaugurations. There have not been 6 inaugurations. Inaugurations were held when suppose one artery of the coastal road was opened. Suppose one wing was open and then the next one was opened directly to Worli, or one exit at Bulabai Desai Road. Those times inaugurations were done, and it is not that one coastal road had 6 inaugurations. It was because of the different arteries that the local representatives were called to have the inauguration at that area. So whoever is the contractor and
Absolutely.
whatever
Anish,
the issue,
Anish, I want you to respond to this because again the allegation is that it's the opposition
that will be fixed. But
that has been stopping the BMC polls, and that's exactly the reason why today citizens have nobody to ask direct questions to. Now people here will travel on this particular road. Yes, you read it in the newspaper that it's a 14,000 crore project, it's an engineering marvel, it's the crown jewel of Mumbai, but when you travel on it, it's a bumpy ride. Anish, the question is against the opposition now. Krishna Hegde just asked you.
No, so to my dear friend Krishna Hegde, who I think has been put into a tough spot because of this road multiple times over now, the problem is that the road was inaugurated 6 times in these individual bits and pieces, right? It's like saying that when you build a house, you're first sort of entering the house without having it painted. Then you're entering the house only from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then you're entering the house and only one bedroom is ready. And then almost a year later, when all the bedrooms are ready, you're inaugurating inaugurating it for the final time and saying that this road is finally open, which has only happened a few weeks ago when finally I think all of the Haji Ali arteries were open, right? So the reality is that these are finishing touches to any road that are supposed to be completed before the road is open to the public. If you remember when the coastal road was first open to the public, it had some absurd timings. Shut on the weekends, open for only so many hours a day, maintenance work to be carried on at a certain point of time. After all of these closures, after all of this time that they took off, they still could not do a good job. So this raises serious questions about why this road was pushed through and was it done for political expediency. And the final point over here, which is a challenge, is that after all of this, when contractors are not being pulled up, when this road is not being fixed, we are still not allowed to raise any questions about it because the only answer given is it's saving time.
Right.
Manish, can I answer this?
Dilip Cherian,
You know,
what does this
building
tell
a
you about
house
the
and
India
building
story?
a coastal
Because
road are two different things, and it is
all right,
not as
Dilip
simple
Cherian,
as
before coming
that.
to you,
Because I tell
Mr.
you
Krishna Hegde,
that the
I'll
coastal
ask you to respond to Anish Gawande here.
building a house and building a coastal road are two different things. It's not as simple as building a house. You know, this coastal road is coming from Virar, it's coming from Mud Island, it's coming to Warsaw. From Warsaw, it is going to Bandra. From
But Mr.
Bandra, it is
Krishna
going to
Hegde, the big
Worli,
question,
and from
I'll,
Worli, it's
I'll
going to
summarize the
Nariman
question
Point.
for you.
So
The
obviously, it
question
will take
here
years to
is
build,
that
and
when
it will
there's an
take
inauguration,
time and
you literally look at the political leaders jostling to make sure that they're standing next to the Prime Minister, to make sure that the photo angle is perfect, to ensure that their photos are there in the newspaper. Today, when this happens, suddenly there's nobody to reply. The BMC,
Anish,
the
at least,
BMC, the
Anish,
BMC officials also don't give a bite on camera. They just give out they just give out a statement.
Anish, we are not running away from facts. And another thing is, at least in our tenure, the road got completed, the coastal road got completed. During that tenure, everything got blocked. Metro got blocked, coastal road got blocked, ceiling got blocked, Samruddhi Mahamar got blocked, Atal Setu got blocked, and RA Metro car shed got blocked. So we
Mr.
are a
Krishna Hegde, are
government
you
which works
basically
and we are
saying,
completing all the
Mr.
projects.
Krishna Hegde, are you basically saying that we should be happy that at least there's a road, doesn't matter if it has holes in it, if it has patches in
There are
it, potholes in it, we should be
see,
happy
if
that
you,
at least it got
No,
completed.
can I?
Anish,
I want to let
Anish,
Dilip come in. I want to
29,
let Dilip come in. No, I want to let Dilip come in. Then I want to come in for just 1
29
second.
kilometers of road and 10 meters of
Mr.
patch.
Dilip
There is a
Cherian,
huge difference.
Mr. Dilip Cherian,
29
please come in because
kilometers.
I
again,
think that
this really
these,
paints a bad
there is
picture
no
of the India
doubt
story.
that
Now we basically have people in power saying that, well, when it was the other government in power, the roads were not completed. Now, even if you have a pothole, be happy, at least the road is completed.
This argument of my hole is better than yours is not going to lead us anywhere. The real thing that any government which is in power needs to do are two things. One, sort out this mess. And number two, ensure that there is commuter safety during the months ahead. And that is what Mumbaikars are looking for. All this blame gaming is not going to get us anywhere. The fact is that there are many parts of this road which are shoddy. There are many people who want to take credit for the road. By all means, take the credit, but give Mumbaikars a perfect road because that is what
But
you
Mr.
deserve.
Dilip Cherian, why should anyone take the credit? It's our money. It's the taxpayers' money. 14,000 crore rupees. None of these guys got it from their own pockets. It's our own money. And when they take our money, they do such a shoddy job and still try to claim credit. I think it's absolutely disgusting. Anish, now the question is also on the opposition. So basically, what Mr. Krishna Hegde is saying is that, all right, questions should be asked of what work they're doing, but also it wasn't any better when your government was in power.
No qualms in admitting that things took longer when our government was in power. But the reality is, what is this mad rush? What is prompting this absolute rush to complete a job half done? If you even look at the Mumbai Metro today, which Krishna Hegdeji pointed to, it's been inaugurated only in one phase. Phase 2A will be inaugurated in 100 days, said former Chief Minister and current Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shindeji a few days ago. Phase 3 will be inaugurated by May. Why are you opening this only in phases? Even when you do open it in phases, for example, at the Mumbai airport, there's no way to get from the metro station to the airport. You have to take a bus or walk almost 15 minutes. So what is this rush to open things just to claim you did them faster? Do something that works. do something that's done right, and do something once you've ensured that all checks and balances are put in place. Otherwise, you end up with one disaster after another.
You're
If I
asking
wanted to be very
Anish, what is
political
the
about
rush?
this, no, if I
Mr.
wanted to be
Krishna
very
Hegde, was the
political about
rush?
this,
Was
no,
the
no,
rush
I
to
would
ensure
say
that this project is
no.
completed within the Maharashtra election? Was
No,
that the
Ashish,
rush?
exactly. That is the rush. That is
No,
the
no, I
rush.
know.
And if I
See,
had to
we
go one step further and make this political, I would say that this is a hunger for contracts that is driving this constant road construction and demolition. This is the corruption in the BMC that this government promised to fix, that it has not been able to fix. I want to ask that where is this money going? Where is this constant repair work funding going? And whose pockets are being lined by this money? But I don't want to even get into that political stuff. I want to ask one simple question. If it's not done, don't open it. Take your time. We took our time with the Bandra-Worli Sea Link. It's a road that every single
Mr.
Mumbaikar
Krishna
has
Hegde,
traveled on with ease for a decade.
your response, please. What was the rush?
no,
Why are you risking the lives of Mumbaikars? Was it for the elections?
no, there is no risk to the life of Mumbaikars. 1.25 crores vehicles have already traveled through the coastal road, and
Mr. Krishna
not that
Hegde,
there is.
let's be honest.
Second,
Just a
no,
couple of
secondly,
months after this, just a couple of months after the road was open, there was water leaking from the tunnel roof. I'll ask my team to play out the visuals here. Nobody's sitting here making random allegations. We have it on camera. We have the visual proof. How does the project, which costs us 14,000 crore rupees, how does the roof start leaking in just 2 months? And now within
No,
a few months, you
absolutely.
suddenly have the roads as well completely patched. How does this happen, Mr. Krishna Hegde? Because you
Anish,
cannot sit here and claim that
no,
there has
no,
been no shoddy
Anish,
job. There has been corruption.
Anish, let me tell you this, that out of 29 kilometers of coastal road and different arteries, which are, more kilometers, you are looking at a few 50 meters patch and saying this is bad. What about the other 29 kilometers which
Mr.
are good?
Krishna
You are
Hegde,
not
this
going to
is a
speak
few
about it.
50 meters before the monsoon.
You know,
Let's
you know.
let's wait for the monsoon. Let's
Secondly,
wait for the monsoon, and
secondly,
this will become 500 meters
secondly,
now.
you are no, and you spoke about the patch. Whatever had been done, if there is a mistake on behalf of the contractor, that has been rectified. No one wants to put taxpayers' money at loss, and anyone making corruption allegation should first prove the allegation and only then make an allegation. This is like Kejriwal, just making allegations about everyone and then himself seeing that he is in a 100 crore liquor scam. So that is not the right way to do it. If you have paper of corruption,
Mr. Krishna
you have to
Hegde,
make the allegation very clear with proof. You cannot just speak in the air about
Mr. Krishna
allegation
Hegde,
and about
nobody
corruption.
sitting here and nobody putting it on social media is making a political allegation. These are people whose tax money has been spent. They are upset with the fact that something that was sold to them as a world-class infrastructure, today they can't even drive on that road without feeling the bumps. Dilip Cherian, closing remarks from your end. This is just embarrassing. The fact that today we have someone representing the government sitting here and saying that if there is an issue, if there is a shoddy job, then we'll fix it and then we'll hold accountability. I mean, we have visual proof. How much more do they want?
What is equally embarrassing is the fact that today the world is looking at India, and Mumbai is the financial capital of the country. You can't have a road of this kind of quality, which is brand new. The question is, what does India produce? What are our politicians actually showing as proof of concept? A leaky road, a bumpy road is the first thing that hits.
Mr. Dilip Cherian, just 10 seconds left on the broadcast. One final remark, please. Just 10 seconds left. All right, Mr. Dilip Cherian. Really appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Krishna Hegde and Anish Govt. Preventive maintenance, or is this damage control by the BMC and also the contractor in question? We leave you with that question, viewers. It's for you to decide. And on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Mirror Prime. Lots more lined up on the other side. Stay tuned.